Good morning, everyone. I hope you're getting my voice loud and clear.
Yes, good morning.
Sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, all of you revised what we have studied so far. So, we'll discuss few things before all the students join. Uh, so, roll number 1 is there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, can you tell me about OSI model? OSI.
One second, sir.
Yeah.
OSI model contains 7 layers, sir.
Okay.
First layer is physical layer. It is the lowest layer of OSI where the communication takes place, sir, like transmission of data in the form of bits.
Okay.
And second layer is data link layer. And this layer is for like delivery of messages from one node to another node.
Okay. Enough. Roll number 2.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell about network layer, what it does,
Network.
the functionality of network layer? Or any other layer, if you know?
I don't know.
At least how many layers are there in the reference OSM model?
Sir,
You are there or not?
yes, sir.
I mean, in lecture 1, lecture 2.
Second one I was absent, so yesterday.
Okay. Okay, please try to revise.
Yes, sir.
Roll number 3, Akhil.
Yes, sir.
Are you there, right? So can you tell about network layer?
Sir, I was absent yesterday, sir.
Okay. Next one, 5. Prakash.
Sure.
Yeah. So do you know about OSM model?
No, sir. This is my first class.
Okay. Next 6, Dhiraj. All of you edit your name as just roll number, please. So that you take the screenshot for the attendance purpose. Okay. Whoever is having the name, he may get absent, please. Dhiraj, is this your second class, third class?
Second, sir.
Yeah. So can you tell about the OSM model? Yeah. Okay. You are there now in all lectures.
Sir, I need to revise again, sir.
So yeah, please revise. Okay, I will ask in the next lecture. So 7.
Yes, sir.
So what is a security attack? Security attack. Yeah.
I didn't revise, sir.
Why?
Sir, security attack is attacking, sir.
Okay. So what are the different types of security? I mean, different types of security attacks. Examples.
Don't know, sir.
Please revise. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So 9.
Sir.
Column 9. Tell
Yes,
us
sir.
about security attacks.
Modification of messages,
Okay.
reading the message contents, Masquerade,
Now, reading the message contents means what is the type of attack that is?
traffic.
No, there are 2 different types of attacks. No, what we have discussed in the lecture 2.
One will read the messages, and
That is
the other one is message patterns.
Yeah, that is correct. So these two comes under which type of attack? Revise ma.
Okay, sir.
I shared two lecture PPTs. I will share today also. Please revise. Next one. 10 and
Sir.
yeah, can you tell about the security attacks?
Yes, sir. There are two types of attacks, passive attack and active attack.
Okay.
Passive attack means a third party will be reading the data. When two persons are exchanging the data, third party tries to read the data.
Okay.
Active attack means a third party alter the data.
Okay. Fine. Right. Thank you. Next, roll number 11.
Yes, sir.
So, what is the different types of categories in active attack?
Different types of category. Don't know, sir. I have to revise this.
Yeah, please revise. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, then it is a 10:06. So we'll start today's lecture number 3. Okay, please edit your names as only a roll number, please, all of you. What is this? 1661343? Who is this? Please remove your names so that we'll get the roll numbers as a sequence. If you add your name, the number will go to somewhere else. So please, that's why. All of you, 6, 8, 14, 15, etc. Please edit your name as just roll number, please. Bharadwaj, 60, 61, 62, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Okay. Meanwhile, you do that. The today's objectives for this lecture. So I will revise one more time this lecture 2, that is security attacks, and we'll see some basic terminology which will be used in this communication network security course, and we'll see what are the different types of security mechanisms. My voice is clear, right? Can I proceed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the security attack means it is the potential attack on the security or some mechanism on the what do you call it? So whenever the data is transferring between the two systems, so the security violation, right? So it is an attempt for this security violation. So there are multiple, different types of security attacks are there based on the concept or mechanism. So those are, one is passive attack. In this attack means, so whoever is trying to read the information only. So when two people are exchanging the information on this security attack means there is only learning from the information or make use of that information. That's it. So he will not affect the system resources or may not be, or maybe the information. So he may not modify the information. In the active attack means, so he will try to attempt the, he will try to modify the messages or system resources. Passive attack and active attack. So there are some categories in passive attack. That is the release of message contents and the traffic analysis. And the release of message content means the third party or who is trying to attack, he will read the information only, right? The next one is a traffic analysis. So this third one, this fellow is try to observe the patterns of the messages, right? So why he will observe the patterns means, so suppose if the data is encrypted, so he may not read it directly because it is a encrypted version. So he will observe the patterns. So later he may conclude or he may try to decrypt the data. That is the traffic analysis. in the passive attack. I hope these two are clear. In the active attack means so he will try to modify the data stream or the resources also sometimes. So there are some categories are there: masquerade, replay, and modification of messages and denial of service. So in a masquerade, suppose I am giving lecture, right? So some other fellow will be try to be or pretend to be me, right? So that is the masquerade. So he is the Bob, but this fellow will be looking like, or he is pretend to be Bob by sending messages to Alice. That is the one type of active attack. The replay means, so what this fellow will do is he will read the message or capture the message, and he will retransmit the same messages to the another fellow. So these two fellows are exchanging the information, but this fellow will capture the message and he is retransmitting or replay messages to this fellow. That is called replay. Modification means we know, see, so he is capturing the message or reading the messages. Then after some modification, he is sending to that message to other fellow. So that is a modification of message. So it is a one type of active attack. The last one is the denial of service. So from the server, so he may disrupt the services to the Bob or Alice, etc. So who is attacking? Sorry. So I hope all the points are clear, right? Active attacks, passive attacks. What is a security attack? Please respond.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, so that is about the lecture 2, what we have discussed in the previous lecture. Now we will move to some basic terminology in our CNS course. So one is the plain text. Second. So what is the plain text means? What is the plain text means? It is a original message. That is without any coding or something. So what is the original message means? It is a readable format. The ciphertext means it's a coded message, so it cannot be readable. So that should be like it is encrypted message. That is a ciphertext. So what is the mechanism of cipher means? It's an algorithm for transforming plain text to ciphertext. That is called cipher. So key. So the always whenever any data is encrypted, so in algorithm, so we need a key. So different key will generate different ciphertext. So that is this information used in cipher known only to sender or receiver using this key. On the encryption, decryption or encipher, decipher means so converting plain text to ciphertext is called encipher or encrypt or encryption. The opposite of this encryption will be decryption or decrypt or decipher. That is recovering plain text from the ciphertext, right? And the next one is the cryptography. So what is the cryptography means? It's a study of encryption principles or methods or algorithms. And the cryptanalysis means so it's like a from the encrypted code. So by breaking that code, we can know what is the actual message. So that is a study of principles or methods of deciphering or decryption. So that is without knowing key also. See, remember the cryptanalysis means so code breaking, but without knowing the key. And a combination of this cryptography and cryptanalysis called as cryptology. So it is a field of both cryptography and cryptanalysis. These are some basic terminology we will use in this course. So please try to remember plain text, so original message, right? So when you add some intelligence to this, so it will not be a readable format. So that is a ciphertext. Then mechanism is cipher. Then what is a key? Encryption, decryption, and the cryptography, and the cryptanalysis, and finally cryptology. Is this clear? So you should remember always. Please try to memorize this terminology. right? Following, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, what is the security mechanism? So it is a OSI security architecture, right? That we have seen already in lecture 2. I told you already, these security mechanisms or whatever the concept we are dealing in CNS. So it is based on the architecture, like whenever any information is exchanging between the two systems, so it is following the OSI model. So it is having or consists of some protocols or layers. Each layer consists of different protocols for the different functionalities. So similarly, the security, whatever we'll deal, so it is having some architecture. So OSI architecture, security architecture we say, which consists of 3 concepts. That is, we have seen one is security attacks, and the next one is the security mechanisms. So what is a security mechanism means? It is a process or it is a method to detect the security attack, or if not detections, at least prevent that security attack, right? Or sometimes maybe recovering from the this security attack also. So that is a one process is called the security mechanism, or it is a process to enhance the detection, preventing, and sometimes recovering the security attack. So that is called the security mechanism. So there are different types of mechanisms are available which may be incorporated in these protocol layers, right, to give some security services. Is this clear? Security mechanism. So it is a method to detect, preventing, and recovering from the security attacks. All of you got the point? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Right. So there are 2 different types of security mechanisms. One is specific security mechanisms, which is having some like a good architecture, right? So based on the some principles, these mechanisms will be defined, and these mechanisms will be incorporated in this what we call the protocol layers. But whereas the second one, pervasive security mechanism, so there is not specific methods or principles. So based on the conditions, so these mechanisms can be used. So we'll see one by one what are these specific security mechanisms. So specific security mechanisms means, so these are the specific based on some principles, and these mechanisms will be incorporated into appropriate protocol layers, which we may be provided in the security services or OSI architecture. So anyway, I will write down the definition so that you can get some clarity. Then we will discuss all these security mechanisms, right, one by one. So one second. This is specific security mechanisms. So based on some principles on these mechanisms, whatever are there, which we are going to see now, will be incorporated into the appropriate protocol layers. That is, we have seen if it is a OSI model, so there are so many 7 layers are there. Each layer consists of its own protocols to provide some operations or functionalities, right? In the similar way, these mechanisms will be incorporated, right, into any appropriate protocol layer to provide some security services. So see carefully. So these mechanisms may be incorporated into the appropriate protocol layer. Appropriate protocol layer. So why? To get some security service. So in order to provide some of the OSI security services. So we have seen OSI security architecture consists of three parts: security attacks, mechanisms, and security services. So what are those security services? That also we will see in coming lectures, right? So this is very, very important. So all these mechanisms will be incorporated in a protocol layer, right? So that's why we say specific security mechanisms. And we'll see one by one. The first one is encipherment. So very simple. What is a cipher? It is an algorithm to transfer the original message to ciphertext, right? So the same way, encipherment means it is a mathematical algorithms to transform data into a form that is not readily intelligible or which cannot be readable. Is this clear? Encipherment means, so it is a process of transforming data into a form which is not readable. Is this clear? All of you please respond.
Yes, sir.
Please respond in the chat box. Please be in active mode. Right. So here this mechanism will be using, so here the use of mathematical algorithms. We are going to see some different types of algorithms in the coming modules. So mathematical algorithms to, why we need this algorithm? To transform data into a form that is not readable, or sometimes we say it is not intelligible. Okay, so that is not a readable format. So it is one type of security mechanism, so which is using the mathematical algorithms to transform the data into a form which is not, or that is not a readable format, right? So he may use some encryption keys, right? So which type of data, what is the transformation of data, or how can we recover the data? So based on the algorithm and the encryption keys also. So please remember, the encryption is using some principles or algorithms, and also remember keys. So this algorithm and these keys are required whenever we want to recover the actual data. Is it clear? So keys and algorithms, sorry. So these are required, so whenever we want to recover the data. So that is this encipherment. The next one is the digital signature. So this is very simple. Like suppose on the data there may be a digital signature. So digital signature will be there, and he is sending the information to the some receiver or recipient. So in the receiver side, what he does is he will electronically verify that signature or match that signature. Whenever it is matched, that means it is not what you call modified, or there is no security threat or attack on that data. So if it's both signatures are matched, that means he will come to know that so there is no attack on this data. Is this clear? So electronically sign the data on the receiver side, he can electronically verify the signature. Digital signature, is it clear? Something like this. So whatever the, okay, first is like this. In this, whoever is sending the information, the sender can electronically sign the data. So whenever he is receiving, and the receiver or recipient, the receiver can electronically verify the signature. So whenever these both are matched, so that means no modification in the data, or no, without any security attack or any attack, the data is received. In another way, we can say the cryptography transformation. So whatever the encrypted we have done on the data unit, so this encryption may allow the recipient to prove that, so there is a data integrity is there, or source integrity is there. So that is based on the digital signature. So digital signature means transforming the data, right, or cryptographic transformation. So the recipient will electronically verify, right? Is this clear, all of you? The digital signature. You may have seen sometimes in our some circulars, there is a digital signature is available. So generally we will verify this signatures only. Whatever the content is there, generally we will modify that, right? So based on these signatures, we can verify that the data is correct or not modified. That is just example. So generally we will verify that only signature. So by electronically matching, it is matched or not, etc. So based on that, we will come to know, yes, whatever the content is correct or not corrupted. Okay, this is just example. Okay, actually on the data itself, there may be some signatures. Next one, third one is access control. I mean, by the name itself indicating that, suppose there is some resources, right? So who can access these resources? So accessing these resources can be controlled by some mechanisms. So those mechanisms can be incorporated in the some protocol layers, right? So the accessing control. So to the where the resources, who is, I mean, for whom we are giving access, he is authorized person or not. So that is controlled by this mechanism. Is this clear? So giving access rights to particular resources only. So here, how, what is algorithm? So we may be see in the coming lectures. So a variety of mechanisms. So what are those mechanisms? We will see later. That enforce access rights to resources, right? So based on the some mechanism, so we will give access to some resources only. So what is the mechanism, we'll see in detail later. Is this clear? Access control security mechanism. Clear? Please.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right. So next, fourth one is the data integrity. Please, who is joining late? So there was a message from the HOD. So whoever is staying at least for 35 to 40 minutes, so they will get the attendance. So please try to be there. And the next one is the data integrity. Can anyone tell what is this data integrity? Yes, what do you mean by data integrity that we have seen?
Protecting data from unauthorized users.
Protecting the data. Okay. Inka, I mean, anything else? Yes. Integrity. What is the meaning of integrity?
Sir, no modifications made.
Yes, correct. So data cannot be modified by others. Very good. So then we can say the data integrity is preserved. Yes or no? Now, how can we do that? Or how can we are going to detect some data is modified? So example we'll see. So generally, whenever any data is sending from the sender side, suppose this is the actual data, right? So using some algorithm or mechanism, or from this data, he will generate some check value. So remember, it is not a random value. From the data, he is generating some check value based on some mechanism or algorithm. Suppose the check value is some 5. Okay, this is from the sender side. So whenever he is sent that information and received by the receiver or recipient, so he will receive the data, right? Again, using the algorithm, he will generate again the check value. If the check value is same and both are matched, that means this data is not modified. So the data is correct, no modification has been done. Suppose if the check value is changed to suppose 7, so that means the data is, or whatever the data is modified or information is changed. So by using this check value, so we can see that, so there is no data integrity, or data is modified. Is this clear about the check value? How is checking? How can we how we are verifying the data integrity? Clear, everyone? By using this mechanism. So there may be different mechanisms also. This is just one example. Right. So if we can write like this, so to assure the integrity of data stream or a data unit, so we're going to use any one mechanism, so which we are calling as a data integrity only. Okay, so here one type of that is the using the check value. So the check value is derived from the data only, right? Can I go further? So the next one is Authentication Exchange. Now, can anyone tell? So the name itself indicating what is the meaning of authentication? Please respond. Yeah, anyone, please? What is the meaning of authentication?
Verification.
Restricting, sir.
Yeah, giving access, verifying. So generally,
And trusted.
yeah. So verifying that entity. Okay. Yes or no? Or we can say identifying the person or generally entity. Is this correct? So we are identifying who is exchanging the information. So before they exchange the information or the data, so we need to first authenticate. So here this mechanism is somewhat different. So this mechanism, what it will do is it will ensure the identity of an entity or who is exchanging the information. But here also initially they will maybe some information exchange, maybe username, passwords or something. So that is a type of security mechanism, that is authentication exchange. Clear, Radha? So to generally identifying the entity. So how? By exchanging the information. See here. So what is this? It is a mechanism. A mechanism intended to ensure the identity of an entity. So he may be source, he may be receiver, destination, etc. by a means of information exchange. So by information exchange, so we will identify who is trying to exchange the actual data. So information exchange. Clear, everyone? So how can we give the access? First, we need to authenticate that fellow. Yes or no? Then only we can give the access. So that is the one security mechanism. So we may be incorporated. The next one is traffic padding. I mean, you may be heard about padding. Yes or no? Any maybe in digital communication course. Yes or no? Anyone? Please tell me what is the meaning of padding? Adding extra bits, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Right. So this mechanism, what it does is, suppose I will first explain the example. See, then I will write the definition. Suppose there is a data here, right? This is the actual data. Suppose there are some gaps. So these are some gaps. So random bits will be included here, or any text also, right? So this is the sender side. So this is one type of the padding. So in another way, another case, there may be some data here, and we can add, or we can, pad some extra bits here. So whenever this type of paddings are done, so whenever the what do you call, who is trying to access the data, so he will try to observe the patterns. No, so for every data there may be different pattern. So it is very difficult to analyze these patterns, or we can say traffic analysis. We have seen, right? Traffic analysis is a one type of passive attack where the other fellow will observe the patterns. So using this traffic padding mechanism, for every data, it's a random, it is not a unique. Every data there may be some padding of any bits or any different characters. So based on this, so it is very difficult to analyze the patterns. Is this clear? The traffic padding, it is inclusion, insertion of bits. Yes or no? Correct? So inserting bits or characters. One second. Yeah. So inserting bits is called traffic padding. So I'm writing the definition. So the insertion of bits into gaps in a data stream. So why we are doing this insertion of these bits? To frustrate traffic analysis attempt. So it is very difficult to analyze, right? So traffic analysis attempts. So it's like a passive attack. Is this clear? traffic padding, so insertion of bits into gaps in a data stream to frustrate the traffic analysis attempts. The next one is a routing control. Routing control. Now see carefully here. Example, suppose this is system A, this is system B. Initially, both are exchanged the information. That means authentication is exchanged. Now, see, that can be done in a different paths, right? So this is one path, and there is a connection between these two in a different route, and there is one more path here, one more path here. Suppose, let's think that suppose there is a breach of security is suspected in this path. This is a path 1. So this system A or system B is detected that so there is a security breach in this path. So he may alter the path. So he may choose now different path. So that is one type of routing control, right? So allowing the routing changes is a one routing control mechanism. Is this clear? So you may ask, so what is the different path means? Generally, suppose there is a system A here, system B here. Now this system is connected to, suppose the router 1, and this router 1 is connected to another router, maybe nearer to this, or there may be another route, yes or no? And there is one more router here. So this may be connected to some different routers and so on, right? This is connected like this. So, and suppose this is one router, R5, this is R6, and this is R7, R8, and these are the all the connected to here, and this is the system B. Now see how many paths are available. So R1 to R4, R8, R7, 1, then R2, R5, R7, another 2. This one is 3. This is the 4. This is the 5, etc. So different 5 paths are available. So based on the conditions, right? So suppose this R1 to R2, R5, R7 is a secured path. Suppose this is the, using some mechanism, these fellows are identified that this is a secured path for one type of data. So he may use this path. In another case, suppose he is thinking that in this path, there may be a security threat is there. So then in that case, he may choose this path. Okay. So that is called the routing control. Is this clear? It is like identifying the secured path for certain data and also changing the routes, right? Whenever there is a possibility of security threat. All of you, is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you can write down like this. So enables selection of particular physically secure routes for certain data. So based on the data also, it may choose certain routes, and sometimes routing changes. So allow routing changes when there is a breach of security. So especially when a breach of security is suspected. Right? So you can write this as a one definition for this routing control mechanism. And the next one is the last one, which is notarization. Can anyone tell from this name what is a notarization? So whenever we take some money from financer, we will sign who is taking, and also there is some one more fellow can give or sign. Are you getting anything from this? Other fellow who is a guarantor, he can also sign, right? Are you getting my point or not? Yes, respond. Fraud proof process. Okay. So that means there may be, we can take some other fellow which is a trusted one to control the communication between the two systems or two entities. Yes or no? See here, this is system A and this is system B. Suppose this fellow is thinking that so there may be a security threat when I send through a communication medium. So what he will do is he will take the help of a third person, or we can say this one is a trusted party, so that whatever data we want to send, he can send the data with guarantee delivered to the B without any change in this data. So this one is called the trusted third party or the trusted party, right? So selecting this third trusted party to control the communication between these two fellows, right? Is this clear? That is called the notarization security mechanism. So we can write in a different ways. So here we can selecting a third trusted party to control the communication. Control the communication between two entities. So this is A and B, and this trusted party is C. Is this clear? The notarization? All of you, all the points are clear?
Yes, sir.
So notarization, then the routing control, then traffic padding, authentication exchange, data integrity, access control, and digital signature. And the first one was, what was the first one? Encipherment. Now here you should remember that we may not use all the security mechanisms which are incorporated in the protocol layer. So maybe based on the conditions or based on the situation, some of the, or based on the network management, based some of the security mechanisms will be incorporated. Yes? This point is clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
That is the security mechanisms which are specific, right? Now the next one, the second is a pervasive security mechanism, so which may not be specific to some protocol layers. So in that case, what are the different what do you call the situations, etc. So that we'll see in the next lecture, right? So today we have discussed what is a security mechanism. So it is a process to or method to detect or prevent or recovering from the security attacks, and the types will be specific security mechanisms and pervasive security mechanisms. In the specific, so these mechanisms are incorporated in some appropriate protocol layers, so to provide some security services, that to OSI security services. And there are 8 mechanisms in the specific security that we have seen. And I hope all the points are clear. So please revise these things. We'll discuss in the next lecture. Right? So I'm stopping here. So we'll meet in the next lecture. We'll continue with this pervasive security mechanisms. So before going, please, I told you already, edit your name as only roll number. I'm taking the screenshot. Please don't go. I'm taking the screenshot to give the attendance.
మమ్మీ నీకు ఓపిక లేకపోతే ఇట్లా రాదు వేస్తుంది ఏం కాదు దానిలో కూర్చుందిరా నాతోటి
Okay, then you can leave. Thank you.
Yeah, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay, then bye. Take care.